Hey, have you ever gone and watched the sunset and just be mesmerized by the light hitting the skies? The setting sun just creating all these amazing, vibrant colors. Or how about the first time you've gone out hiking and experiencing walking through nature, the trees, the flowers, the path in front of you, and just realizing the immensity and the grandeur of nature? Or how about that time that you've gone to an amusement park and you hear the rides, crashing and clanking, and you smell all the amazing fried foods and the cotton candy. So what does all of these have in common? Well, all of them are experiences that create images and pictures in our mind that essentially elicits emotions. So for me, imagery is an amazing form of prayer. But what does imagery entails? It's not about random images or thoughts coming and bouncing in our minds. It's a much more focused intent. So these images could be coming from our sight. Obviously, that's the most obvious part of imagery. But it also could come in from like our hearing, our smelling, our touching, or even the way we taste things. So let me give you an example. When you come into church, you come in for Mass, or even if you visit a church for the very first time, you walk in there, and our church is filled with images that could trigger all these things. Looking at statues, touching them and feeling them, listening to the chants, the bells, the smell of incense, or even listening to the priest's prayers, or watching him as they elevate Christ to the Lord during the consecration. Or finally, even when you touch, when you touch or taste even the Christ through the Holy Host. So what this does, hopefully, is that it triggers a heavenly image in your mind, all these experiences, as that's what the Mass is supposed to do. It's supposed to bring us a sense of elevation and an experience of the heavenly realm. The Mass is where heaven and earth meets. So one of my favorite things about St. Francis, and it's interesting that because Francis has been almost eternally connected with nature and environment, almost to the hippie level, right? It's because Francis, the source of Francis's love for the Lord is rooted in him seeing the Creator within the creation. So he sees the beauty of God, the Creator, within the creation itself. So for him, this form of imagery, where everything that surrounds him focuses him back to the Lord, is such a powerful form of imagery. One of the things about Francis is that he's attributed to creating the nativity scene, the creche. But because for him, the most powerful image of his faith, of his conversion and transformation, was the idea, the reality that Christ himself came down from heaven through the incarnation to us. So seeing that image, the little baby in a manger, that essentially changed the course of history, from us being sinful to us being redeemed. That was the beginning. So for him, the incarnation is such a powerful imagery. So how can you use this form of prayer in your own life? Well, the main thing is think about how does the images that comes into you connects you back to God. So like a simple exercise would be like looking at a flower and focusing on the flower until to the point where nothing around it kind of exists. Just focusing on this flower, And essentially, as you focus more, you start to see the most basic nature of what the flower is. And within that, hopefully, you would start to see the beauty of the Creator who created this flower. So imagery, as we look at certain things, like this icon, for example, hopefully what it does is it focuses us back to God, and that's the ultimate goal of any form of imagery that we encounter, whether it be statues of our saints, the crucifix, which is one of our most powerful images in our faith. Tasting the host, listening to the chants, listening to the prayers, even your own prayer that creates these emotions within you. So all of these have to be focused back onto God.